Welcome to EDJ Studios. This is the EDJ podcast, and we're back. We're back with Rel. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad to be back.
We had fun last time. Did you have fun?
We did.
Nice.
It
was a good conversation. I liked it.
Absolutely.
And we're back for another episode where I would like to know what a girl thinks, what a girl feels. And it's a hot topic. Diddy, very hot topic.
Very hot topic. Scheming.
Yes. I guess he's getting off. I think not a surprise to anybody.
No.
I mean, all the powerful people get away with this.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think about him getting off? Do you think it's fair, not fair?
There's nothing fair with money.
That is.
There is nothing fair with money. Okay.
I couldn't
when
have said it
you
better.
have money, you never have to play fair.
100%.
And I think as a society, we have realized that.
Yeah.
With money comes access to anything and everything.
Yes.
The best of the best lawyers, and like I kind of was telling you off air was like he's not a dumb guy. He's gonna cover his tracks.
Yep.
I feel like he has a lot on people that they don't want to come out. You know what I mean? And being a freak, unfortunately, is not a crime. And that's basically all they have on him right now.
Yeah.
All of the stuff that we really wanted him to be charged for, they really didn't have substantial, quote unquote, evidence to charge him, which was unfortunate because if it was really going on, I feel bad. And the whole Cassie situation was unfortunate.
I think is about the whole, what they were trying to get him on, I didn't believe the whole trafficking part.
Yeah.
What I think is being missed a little bit, and what I wish the prosecutors, the government, whoever is the one suing him for all of this, they would have focused more on the damage of the people that he caused, because I'm sure there's more Cassies.
I'm sure.
And yeah, the whole trafficking thing, I didn't think he was doing that, but I do think there's more women that he put through, like Cassie.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Men, and more stuff that they could have focused on more than just those big charges that would have that made big headlines and made people go crazy. But I feel like there's more people like Cassie out there.
I think there was just they were just afraid to come out. Like I said, with money comes power, and a lot of these people, he chooses smartly. The girls, the quote unquote guys, it's never gonna be of people at his status. You know what I mean? It's gonna be people that I hate to say are dispensable. It's like, oh, so who's gonna believe you over me?
Exactly.
And we all know that Diddy has that power trip.
I mean,
we know
Diddy's been getting away with stuff for a long
years.
time. Think about
even back to like the Tupac and Biggie situation. Like, come on.
There's a lot of crime, a lot of violence in Bad Boy.
Bad Boy, absolutely.
It just all seemed to go away somehow.
Yeah, of course. Because, you like you were saying earlier, you don't get that big for no reason. Like, he's done whatever. He's been in the game and he's done his dirt to get where he is.
Exactly.
He's stepped on whoever he needs to step on, paid off whoever he needs to pay off to get where he is to do what he does.
It's that saying,
you
don't become a billionaire with your hands clean.
Absolutely
You don't get to that spot.
Absolutely not.
Of course, unless you know.
I mean, unless it's generated
down,
generational wealth, then that's a different thing.
But
to come from when he came from, the poverty life that he came to be where he is now, of one of the elites, hanging with politicians, and you know what I mean, and the hierarchy. Come on.
Yeah, like it's been years of this, and I don't know. To be honest, I think he's gonna get off of this. I think if he's smart, like we know he is, I'm sure he has a bunch of money still.
Of course.
And he's getting out. He's getting the fuck out of here. He's, that's what I would do in this situation.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason.
He's going to get out and he's going to go in hiding for a little bit and do whatever it is he has to do to build himself back up. But he'll be right back. I give it a couple years.
Yeah.
Once he's out, and he'll be right back to doing what he does. He'll probably, I don't know, come out with a new artist or come out with some big new business avenue to make himself relevant again in a positive light, his PR team is going to do
amazing.
complete damage control.
Yeah.
And what it is like you said, he's already gotten through so many hurdles of nonsense in his career that I feel like even as big as this is, it'll be forgotten about, slap on the wrist, and he'll come right back into the spotlight, and people will accept him because it's just who he is. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I don't think he'll go clear face.
No,
and apologize like he's always
not gonna.
Well,
he might apologize, but
somewhere on a tour,
of course,
on all the platforms, apologizing and like I made a mistake.
Yeah, a bullshit apology. Yeah.
And then sooner or later, I'm working with this.
Yeah, I have this new. Yeah. Or he might even start music again. Who knows? You know what I mean? And I really think because of who he is, he'll be profitable again. He just doesn't go away. He's like a tick. Yeah. You know, like they're just gonna come back. You know, you know.
What it was. Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. And he said it, you know, and he said it. And he's got the money to do it. And it's unfortunate as it is, like, and I do feel really bad for Cassie. But again, in a sense, she knew who he was. We all knew who he was. And I
feel bad for her.
I feel bad.
I feel bad for her, but in a way, I feel like she should have gotten out of there a lot quicker.
Yeah.
I think. But then again, I don't like to speak because it is. And then when
she was really young,
and when you put in the drugs part,
and she was being fed all types of
that's new.
drugs.
That was the one thing that I didn't know all these drugs.
That the drugs are heavy in that scene, and he was a big time druggie. You know, all his party favors, and I don't think he was ever like when he was doing these freak offs or whatever it is. There was no sobriety in that. Everybody that was partaking was. You know, doing all types of extracurriculars.
If you are engaging in any of that stuff, you are definitely doing drugs.
You have to be. You know, there's no way that you were just in there sobered over, like, hey, you know, like,
definitely.
No,
I think it's sad what's happened to her.
Absolutely.
I think it's a tale of why women need family.
Yeah,
your mother, your dad, your sister. Like, you could never just fully just go and become part of this man's life and leave everything behind. I don't think that's healthy. And any man that demands a woman to forget about your family, or where was her family? Like, who?
I thought that too. Like, where was her? Where was her team? Where was her support system? And I don't want to say that they weren't there, but I mean,
must have not have, because how would you like let all this?
Money changes things too. We don't know if he was like paying off the family or like,
so
or making her so scared that she was, because being in a dealing with domestic violence in an abusive man can really change your thought process. And her being so young and impressionable on top of the drugs, I don't think she was in the right frame of mind. I really feel like after so much abuse, they have this thing called Stockholm Syndrome where you kind of become almost, you accept it. Like, this is life.
I wonder, I don't know much, to be honest, I don't know much about her background at all. So I wonder how, like, her family structure was. Does she come from a broken home?
You know what? I don't know. I didn't really know that girl. I feel like she had that song, You've Been With, and then it was like, she had that big hit, and then he just took her under the wing, and then we just knew her as Diddy's girl.
Yeah.
And that was it for Cassie.
And she,
you know what I mean? And she rode with that.
Yeah.
She rode with the perks of that, you know, and nothing wrong with that. Again, coming from probably not living that type of lifestyle to be thrown in the mainstream, all this money, all this, you know, fame, being so young, I'm sure it could have. It's hard to say no. Yeah. She was probably looking at it like, oh, yeah, he does this, but look at this. And I'm sure he threw that in her face, too. Like, oh, yeah, this might be bad, but look what I do for you. Look at how you live. Look at how you dress. Look at the cars you drive. Look at the places you go. You know what I mean? With money comes power.
Yes.
And a man of money like that is powerful, and he will use that power trip on you. And if you are not a strong, in the mind, and being so young, and I'm sure she was insecure. He gonna use her like a little rag doll, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
Until she got her own strength, and that comes with age and wisdom. Until she started to grow, unfortunately, she went through it through a long time, and many women go through that. Yeah. Not even with the money, you know. Yeah. Women are with regular men that control them like that until they get to a place in themselves where they have the inner strength to be like, you know what, I don't deserve this. I'm not gonna live like this. I don't care what you give me. I'm done. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's what happened with her.
I think it's like I said, it's something that most likely Diddy has done to a lot more people, not just women at this point.
You don't remember his wife Kim Porter?
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah.
What she went through? Yeah. Like, and her quote unquote death.
Death is
come on.
Little. Yeah.
It's a little.
Like I said, a long list of.
She was coming out with a book.
Yes, and then
right when she passed away, a tell-all book of what she's been through. So couldn't imagine what that book was gonna entail. And I'm sure Diddy did not want that out. I'm not saying he did it, but we don't know that he didn't. It was just weird. A perfectly healthy, beautiful woman dies of, I think it was like pneumonia or something. Yeah. Like.
Yeah, weird.
Weird. And, very weird.
I mean, the rumor is Diddy had Tupac paid somebody. Like, I'm not saying nothing that nobody. Yep. You know, it's been out there for a while. So yeah, he has the means. And the funny part is Diddy is so great, his character. Yeah. This fun party guy.
Narcissistic.
This fun party guy. Yeah. Like, it's just, I'm this fun party guy. I can't hurt you. Like, I'm not. But all this death that's from your camp is kind of like, now that you break it down and you look back,
and
you're
you
like,
think about it.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like, what's really going on here?
Yeah. And
you
then,
know what I mean?
What about all these young guys that used to go? Because you think about Beaver, Usher, all these little boys that, because they were little boys back then, and they would just get to live with this person. Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's deep. And again, I don't want to
comment on it. None of these people.
Bieber's a mess.
Yeah. And he doesn't comment on any of this. Like, I haven't. No. Oh, maybe they have, but
I think Usher Bieber has some deep rooted trauma. Yeah. From Diddy.
Yeah.
If you even, I again, TikTok's my favorite place. They did like a compilation of like old videos of Bieber like interviewing with Diddy. Yeah. And just the way he looked in the video, so, you know, reading his body language, super uncomfortable, looked very uneasy. Yeah. Lord knows, you know. And there was one where Diddy was like, "Oh, how come you don't come over? You don't party with me. You don't come see me no more." And Bieber just looked taken back and scared, like he didn't know what to say. But again, this is a young kid. Yep. I'm sorry, I have a child. You have children. Yep. And my daughter, you know, she's gonna be 10 years. In 6 years, she'll be 16. Just in case, she's still my kid. Yes. Okay. And I'm still going to have, I don't care how much money she's going to be. She's a single. I'm going to be there. And nobody's going to stop me from being there from my child. No amount of money. I'm going to oversee what the heck my kid is doing. Like, there's no way that somebody's going to be like, oh, I want to take your daughter and have her come live with me for 2 years to build her career. Are you crazy?
Yeah, like I never understood that part.
I never understood that.
And it's been happening. I mean, we heard of what happened to Aaliyah.
Oh, yeah. And 15 years old.
Married.
14, I think it was, to R. Kelly.
And the parents.
And the parents were just.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
It just happened. You know, it's funny. It just happened in Dominican Republic.
Really?
With a baseball player, famous.
I heard of that.
Yes, and he's in jail.
And he's
the mom is in jail.
For blackmail, right? She tried to blackmail him, say like...
no, the mom is in jail for pretty much selling off her daughter.
Oh.
That's why she's in jail. Yeah.
Wow.
Because the mom was like, if she's a minor... And you, as a mother, you know this is happening.
Didn't he pay her off, though, to get her? Okay, yeah.
And so now the mom is also in jail. The mom, the mom actually is getting more time than him.
As she should.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen.
I absolutely think she should, because shame on you.
Yeah.
Like, so money's worth more than your child? Yeah. Absolutely not.
And we seen it with a lot of these celebrities where they just sell off their kid for the money that they're going to make.
It's sick.
that whole industry is the acting
it's a scary industry, and it's crazy though because like when I was young, I used to sing, so I was like big into singing when I was young, and I actually was in a girl group for a little while. Like we did pretty good for a little bit, and we actually I'm not going to mention names, but we had a producer looking at us, a pretty well-known producer. This was way back in like the early 2000s, so quite a while ago. And it's crazy that we talk about having your kid go away. So my mom had to go to a meeting with the two other girls that were supposed to be in the girl group with me. And basically the whole thing was I was going to move to California with these two other girls and live in a house, and they were going to train us and voice coach and basically build us up to be in this girl group. And
how old were you?
I was maybe at the time, maybe 15, maybe 16, not even.
Yeah, no.
And my mom was like, "Are you crazy?" I was so upset with my mom because all the other moms were like, "Okay, like I think this is a good idea. Yeah. Like I think they really could make it." And at that time, like I was gonna be the lead vocalist in this because I had like I guess they thought the strongest voice or whatever. And my mom was like, absolutely not. Yeah. And they're like, well, we really need her for this group. And my mom's like, I don't care how much you need her. My daughter is not going to California without me. And I was so upset with my mom. I was like, you ruined my life. But now being a parent and looking back, like she saved me.
Yeah.
Do you imagine if she would have sent me out there, like what could have happened to me?
No.
You know what I mean? A young, impressionable girl. And granted, all I wanted to do was be a singer. All I ever wanted to do back then was be in that industry, And so
we hear the horror stories. We do. Men taking advantage.
Yep.
Bringing these girls in to groom them, and then also other women
bringing them to groom them.
Yeah. So it's. I just think it's terrible. I don't know what's gonna happen with Diddy. I knew he was gonna get off. I think the charges that they were trying to stick him with just didn't make sense. I thought there was a better way for them to go after him.
Yeah.
Instead of these charges that from the beginning, I'm like, this is going to be very hard to prove.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? You think he'll get off with time served, or you?
You know what? I'm kind of back and forth. I think if he doesn't, he's gonna serve a very small, minimal sentence, maybe a year, like. Maybe 2, the most.
Yeah.
But I think he may get a time serves. With that money and those lawyers, they're going to pull for that. Like, well, he's already been, how long has it been now, the trial? It's been quite a while.
I think it's a year.
Has it been a year?
Yeah, I think we're closing in a year.
Yeah, so he may. He may. And he paid his quote-unquote debt to Cassie. Yes. I don't know how true. I read something that she may have to pay him some money back after this.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how true that is. I saw a couple of
headlines
saying that she may owe him money back.
I hope not.
I don't know if that's true because you see so much craziness. But I had read that and I was like, I really hope that's not. That's terrible. You know what I mean?
They couldn't really go after him because of the domestic violence and all that because he already had paid.
Yeah.
So basically, they couldn't charge.
It was like double jeopardy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's what I mean by like there was so many other ways that he could have actually been. But I'm glad she got her money. Listen, she dealt with all that. I know money doesn't fix anything.
But it sure helps.
Hey, listen.
You could give me $30 billion. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be crying anyway. Let me go cry at this beach.
Let me cry at the
let me be
at my
comfortable.
new home. Whatever. Yep.
If I'm gonna be crying, let me at least be comfortable. But it's terrible. I don't know. What do you think is gonna happen because so much came out of Cassie, which I don't think she needed this. I don't know why she did it. Like went to the federal because
I think
she
it
has
was
a
her
husband
closure.
and so much.
I think it was her closure. Yeah. I think she needed this to fully heal. Yeah. I don't even think it was so much. Maybe it could have been for financial gain, but I really think it was for mental peace. I think because now she's progressed over to a wife, a mother.
Yeah.
And she probably looks at her children and her life and says, I owe them to be the healthiest version of myself. And in order to do that, you have to let things go. And in order to let things go, you need to let things out. You need to be honest, open, and real. And if these things affected her, she has every right to do what she did.
Yeah, no,
and
definitely.
You know what I mean? And I think that she did it mostly probably for closure, so she can carry on with her life and not keep that knot in the back of her, neck.
Yeah.
I feel like that was probably a lot for her, and who knows if that was interfering with her relationship now.
But
you know what I mean?
That was where I was going with it, because it's like...
It's a lot of trauma.
Diddy is so known that this is not gonna go away. Like,
Absolutely
this is
not.
People are gonna know about this for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be hard to like get away from this. Mm-hmm. So it's just a lot.
Yeah,
it's absolutely a lot what she's gonna deal, what she went through, and what she's still gonna keep having to deal with.
Yeah, this isn't gonna go away for a while.
I hope her husband doesn't leave her. Like, I really hope
not. I hope he's strong.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you hear about, like, he walked out of the courtroom at one point?
There was, because it's tough.
Hearing about your wife in certain ways is gonna be tough.
I'm gonna tell you right now, as a man,
especially as a man, you know how tough. You guys.
Yeah.
That's hit one in the chest. Like, you're gonna look at her sideways. Like you didn't tell me that part. You know what I mean?
What I was
like, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
You know.
It takes a strong.
It does take a strong man.
I've seen a lot of people try and they haven't. It hasn't worked.
No, because again, that's gonna sit right in the back of his head, and he's gonna think about these things.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure if she wasn't open with him with a lot of it, and he had to hear about it firsthand in that courtroom in front of all those people, that's a hit to the chest that no man wants to experience.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Especially the mother of your children.
Yeah, that's what
you know what I mean?
It's tough.
You're not going to want to hear that. You're not going to want to hear that.
Especially like some of the graphic stuff that I don't even want to mention them, but some of the stuff, it was just not even, like we were talking off air. This is beyond everybody's, he's a freak. Like, no, this is beyond that. This is a little sick.
A deviant.
Yeah.
A sexual deviant.
Yeah,
there is a freak and there's deviance.
Yeah.
He's on that end. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with a freak and want to try new things and be optimistic in the bedroom, whatever. But he taking it to a whole nother caliber, okay, with what he does. And I think it would traumatize any normal person to have experienced some of the things that he does. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just not normal.
No. It's one of those things where, like, as we mentioned earlier about Cassie's upbringing, like where, what's her family structure like growing up. What about Diddy? Like, this is a monster.
No, he is.
Monsters are created. There, you're not born a monster. You're created.
Like I told you, him and his mother are real weird. They've been weird for years. The dynamic between them is odd. There's a lot of speculation between them too, and like I told you off air, that whole situation is odd.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You guys could look into it, but it's funny that all big artists, right? Like, this guy's been in movies. Like, there's been movies made, with him in reference, and usually with every artist, like their mother. What happened, like their background, something. But it feels like there's been an effort to kind of
conceal it.
Yeah, because it's never talked about. Yeah,
I'm sure you don't become a monster like that without some type of trauma.
Correct.
Trauma brings out a lot of deviance in people. I'm sure there's mental illness, because there has to be borderline mental illness there. It's obvious that P. Diddy is super narcissistic.
Yes.
Borderline sociopathic,
him and Kanye, I see why they get along.
Neck and neck. Yeah. Neck and neck. Kanye, I don't know. I don't think he's into I'm sure in his personal life, he's probably the same way. It's a little bit of a deviant sexually.
Yes.
But I don't think he takes it to the perversion of P. Diddy with others. But they're neck and neck with the way that they think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't see him...
Because they think of themselves as gods. They think of themselves as nobody's higher than me. I don't give a shit what you think. Like, I know, see, am all. Yeah. I am it. Yeah. That's how they think. They have that God complex. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like, the dynamic between men is much of respect, because that's what... For men to be around each other, like, there has to be a level of respect.
Absolutely.
Usually.
Yeah.
So, like, Diddy was always up here because of his status.
Yeah.
Now all of this comes out. What respect does he get from his peers? Like, I don't see how, especially, you know, the rap game is a very macho
game.
Room. Like, how do you go up?
That's a lot of testosterone. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of power. You know what I mean?
If you're seen with Diddy from here on as a man, like, we gonna look at you like, hey, what's going on here? Yeah. So it's gonna be tricky. I think if I was Diddy, like I said earlier, I would just move to an island, retire, and not be seen. Because of what you said, he's so narcissistic
he won't. Because he won't. Yeah. Because he probably screams in the mirror each morning, I am God. Yeah. Nobody is better than me. I don't care. And after he gets out of this, that narcissism and sociopathic behavior is going to be through the roof, because he just beat odds. Oh, yeah. So he's going to be on one. He's going to be like, you can't touch me. Yep. Like that Training Day scene with Denzel Washington. That is going to be him in the middle of the street. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, he is going to be on another level. Wow. He ain't going nowhere. And he's going to make it known, like, what are you going to do to me? Yeah. Well, it's going to... what could happen is more people come out with more stuff. Absolutely.
It might
they could.
Yeah, not sexual stuff but it could be other stuff that come out. So
yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot to tarnish his quote unquote name, but it's not going to hinder his bankroll. He's still going to collect. He's still going to make money. Because unfortunately, society, we're so far gone. Not all of us, but a vast majority of society, we thrive off of chaos.
Yes.
Off of dysfunction. And so Diddy in himself is entertainment with his...
Sad.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, people still gonna...
he's still gonna profit.
Those people celebrating that he got off, like, literally.
Putting baby oil all over themselves.
So...
This is the world that we live in. You know what I mean? It's sad, but this is the world we live in.
To those people that were, like, celebrating and, like, protecting the guy, like I said, look, I'm a fair person. I don't want the guy to go to jail if he didn't do it. But there's one thing that's very, very clear, and we didn't need this case to know. Yeah. We saw with that video when it came out. Yeah. This is a bad person.
A very bad person.
That is the bottom line of this. Yes, he got off. Yeah. Yes, he didn't go to jail. This is still a bad person, and we have a video to prove it, because I don't care what you say. That video showed me everything I need to know about the guy.
Same. And I'd say to those people, like, what about your sisters, your daughters, your mothers? Yeah. Like, would you want to see them in that situation? Would you applaud that type of behavior if that was one of your own? Yeah. Like, come on. Yeah. Let's be realistic, you know? Like, just because it's not affecting you, it should not affect you. Yeah, correct. You know? Let's be decent humans here. Exactly. You know?
Well, I think we covered that. Well, there you guys have it, ladies and gentlemen. The EDJ podcast at EDJ Studios with another episode with Rel.
Hey. Thank you for having me.